Hey, guess what? Thank you for joining me for another round of Driveway Motivation. Today, ooh wee, you saw the title. I will. This is a statement. I will obey. I will obey God's instructions, the instructions that God has given me. Because what you don't know is the instructions that He gives to you are not just for you. It could be for other people. It could be for your family. It could be for your legacy. It could be for the people that are watching you. So you really don't know. And so when you find yourself being disobedient, you find yourself in a wrong place. You find yourself literally missing your promised land. Because as we talked about it the other day, we talked about Moses. Moses is doing all of these things. Moses done walk through the Red Sea. Moses led these people into what? He led these people out of Egypt. He's sit there seeing miracle signs and wonders. And he gets to a place where God shows him he's able to see the promised land. But God tells him he won't be able to see it. Why? Because what he did, God gave him some instructions. He had been following the instructions the whole time. And then all of a sudden, he at the end of this thing, and he stopped following. He didn't follow the instructions. God said, speak to a rock, and he struck the rock. And all of a sudden, because he didn't follow the simple instructions of being obedient to speak to something, he allowed these people to make him so mad that he struck the rock. He kicked the rock. So that they'll see, he kicking the rock, now water coming out. No, God ain't tell you to do that. He said, speak to the rock, and then I'll have water to pour out of it. But he didn't do it. So what instructions that God is giving you or instructed you to actually do that you have been disobedient in, but God has said, I need you to understand the formula for being obedient and what comes out of it, because he gave me two stories. Back to it. It says, be strong and courageous, because you'll be leading these people into an inherited land that I promised to give to their ancestors. God done promised to give you something. But are you gonna be obedient and actually doing it? Because he said, be strong and courageous. So that means that it's a requirement that you have to meet to be able to get to this. So it says in 7, it says, only be strong and very courageous to ensure that you obey all of the instructions that my servant Moses have given to you, Turn neither to the right nor to the left. Don't look right, don't look left. Don't ask nobody to the right, don't ask nobody to the left. He's already given you the instructions, so you just follow the instructions. Don't be disobedient and looking to the right and looking to the left, looking for an answer to the right, looking for an answer to the left. He's already given it to you. He said, don't look to the right or to the left, so that you may succeed wherever you go. You may succeed wherever you go. If you follow these instructions, you succeed. If you follow the instructions that God has given you, you succeed. It says, this set of instructions is not to cease being a part of your conversation. These instructions is not for you to forget about them. These instructions is not for you to not talk about. He says it's being a part of your conversation. Come on now. Part of your conversation. Meditate on it day and night, so that you may be careful to carry out everything that is written in it, for then you prosper and succeed. If you don't ever get through the doggone instructions and you don't follow the instructions, how do you expect to succeed? How many times? Listen, I don't know about y'all. See, I'm a transparent dude, and so I'm just be transparent. There have been times in my past when I was trying to do something on my own and thinking about I can do this. I can be obedient in some of this stuff. But God said you got to be obedient in all of it. If you really want to change, Gerald, you're going to have to be obedient in all of it. That means these scriptures, if you want your deliverance, if you want you want your freedom, you want all of these things, you want your marriage, you want your restoration, you want your health, you want all of these things, you want these things. But let me tell you something. It was some requirements in this thing. It was some requirements. It says, for one, it says be strong. You can't walk around talking about, oh, I'm so weak, I'm so tired, I'm so fatigued. Man, it says be strong in the Lord. Where are you getting your strength from? You trying to get your strength from somebody else, from some person that you want to co-sign your weakness, want to co-sign your hurt, want to co-sign your pain. No, you better take that stuff to God. You better bring that stuff to the throne room. You better bring that stuff there, because this what you doing is not gonna get it, Gerald. I'm like, man, then here it goes. Here's a man. This is me. This is what I did. I'm like, okay, then I ain't telling nobody nothing. I ain't coming to God with it. I ain't doing nothing. Then you know what happened then? I became disobedient. I became a rebel. I ain't followed the instructions. And let me tell you something. These instructions that you were supposed to follow, we're talking about, listen, he says, you're getting ready to lead these people. Now I put myself in this. Gerald, you're getting ready to lead your family. You know what I'm saying? Your family into another place, into the land that I promised them. But how you gonna lead them if you don't follow instructions? God is giving you some instructions to pray. God is giving you some instructions to keep your mouth closed. God is giving you some instructions to get away from people, places, and things. But you can't seem to find the strength and can't find the courage to cut these people off. In one part it says be strong and be very courageous to ensure that you obey all. In the beginning, it started with be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. Be strong and courageous. So wake up this morning and say, I'm gonna be strong and courageous today. I'm gonna walk this thing out today. I'm gonna walk this out. Whatever those instructions are, you got to walk these things out. Why? Because there's people's lives are depending on that. People's lives are depending on that. Your legacy depending on that. Your kids are depending on that. Your grandkids are being dependent on that. The people that are watching you, it depends on that. If you're going to be obedient or not. It said it in the beginning. Be strong. Be courageous. It's going to take some strength. You can't do this in your natural. It's going to be courageous. It's not going to be popular. People ain't going to like. When you have to cut somebody off, when you have to shut somebody off, when you have to let somebody go, man, it ain't going to be popular. People ain't going to like it. Oh, you this now, you that now. Okay, just, yeah, I'm whatever. However you feel it, however you going to take it. But I'm just saying, because it's a requirement that God is calling for you. Now, I don't know what the requirement is for them, but what the requirement is for you, you better do it. You better do it. You better do it. How about Abraham? God gave him some instructions to go up to the mountain, take his son, take his son, and walk up to the mountain. You know, you go up to the mountain. It's a sacrifice got to be made. This Isaac sitting here talking about, hey, bro, Dad, what's up? We ain't got no lamb. We ain't got no sacrifice to be giving God. We know that when we go up on this mountain, we got to give a sacrifice, but I don't see nothing. But he said God will provide. And so he walked up this mountain with the mindset is I know this man gonna have me to sacrifice my son. But here God got this man walking up a mountain, knowing, you know, that when he get to this mountain, he gonna have to sacrifice his son. Instructions. And he was willing to do it. There's a major sacrifice that comes with that. There was a major sacrifice that come with that for him to be successful. And because he did it, because what he did, it unlocked, I mean, I'm going to give your sons and daughters are going to be like the sea, the sand of the sea, the stars that you see. You can't even count the stars. I don't know if y'all ever looked up and try to count stars, but I'm sure you can't count them. And so just know that this is his obedience. This is what he did. This is what God gave him instructions to do. Listen, I know God ain't, I don't know. I ain't going to say, I don't know what God told you. But I know God has been, you know, gives me some instructions in the past, and I follow some of it. But then when that thing get a little bit hard, it's like, okay, I'm gonna try to substitute. There's no substitution, because in this thing, in verse 7, it says, only be strong and very courageous to ensure that you obey all the instructions. If God tells you don't go down this road, don't look to the right, don't look to the left, don't go to Susie's house, don't call Susie, don't call John, don't call Bob, don't call Clyde, don't call Ralph, don't call nobody. I ain't asked you to call somebody and ask somebody to, oh girl, I'm feeling this way. How can you pray for me? Can you? I'm not saying that you can't. If God instructs you to call somebody to pray for you, then that's what you do. But you don't call anybody when God has already told you, I just want you to be strong. I just want it to be me and you. I need it for me to be me and you. I need our relationship to be good. I don't need my relationship with them because they know how to pray, that they praying for you and that you feeling good. And then all of a sudden you still ain't going to follow my instructions just because they pray for you. Because I don't know about y'all. I done had people pray for me. I done had people prophesy to me. I done had people lay hands on me. I done had people do all of that stuff. And because my heart hadn't changed, I walked right out of that service and walked right into a dope house. I done walked right into pornography. Bruh, I did that. So can't nobody tell me that it won't happen, that it hasn't happened. Somebody's living that. I don't care if you're in a pulpit or not in a pulpit. I don't care if you're a bishop, leader, apostle, I don't care. It don't even matter. Because you can't tell me that you can't have that problem, that you can't have that issue. And so if you that person that I'm talking about from the top to the bottom, it's not like you can't have. Are we following all of the instructions? Are we following all the instructions? I'm telling you, we got to follow them all. And let me tell you something, to follow them all, you're going to have some strength. You're going to have some courage, because there's times where God says, I need you to isolate yourself from your family. What? I can't go see my people? I can't go talk to my mama? I can't go talk to my daddy? You know why? Because he's trying to get the conversation. He's trying to get you strong enough that when he makes a change in your life, the way that they look at you, the things that they say to you don't even matter anymore. Because all it matters is that you're following Christ and you're walking this thing out. And as you're walking this thing out, I'm giving you something here now. I'm telling you, I'm trying to deliver you today. I'm trying to get your mind right today, because here we go. Because being obedient and obeying everything that God says do unlocks something. We're talking about an inheritance, the inheritance of a land that belonged to you. This thing belonged to you, and your disobedience locks you out of it, because you won't do all of it. We got to do it all, yo. We got to do it all. And when I say all, I mean all. There's no substitution for all. I mean, all is everything, all. I mean, complete, whatever. It's all. In verse 7, it says, only be strong and very courageous to ensure that you, put your name in there. I'm going to say Gerald. Gerald, obey all of the instructions that the Lord has given you. Because in here, he had to obey the instructions that Moses. You got to obey what God has said to you, what God has told you, what promises, the instructions that God has told you. You got to obey them all. God says, wake up at this time, and you wake up 30 minutes later, or you wake up an hour later, or you don't even wake up at all. You just wake up when you want to wake up, because, you know, I'm tired. You don't know how tired I am. I'm telling you, God done got me with that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, I want you to wake up early. Your alarm clock, and my alarm clock go off, and I hit it, and I lay there for another 30 minutes. And I'm being convicted, because I'm being transparent, because with that 30 minutes, God could have been saying something that was so profound in those 30 minutes that could save my whole family, that could adjust my whole finances, that could have unlocked some health issues in my family. Those 30 minutes. I'm talking about obeying. If he says 3 o'clock, dear, it's 3 o'clock. If it's 4 o'clock, it's 4 o'clock. If it says don't go down that road, don't go down that road. If it says don't go to Mary's house, don't go to Mary's house. If it says don't talk to Sam, don't talk to Sam. If it says don't do this, then don't do that. Don't think because you know you're gonna hurt somebody's feelings. That's why he said be courageous. You gotta be strong. You gotta be bold enough to say, listen. Child, I can't talk to you no more. Girl, why you can't talk to me? You know why I can't talk to you? Because God told me not to talk to you. Man, God ain't tell you not to talk to me. Why would you not talk to me? Girl, we've been best friends for 50 years. And now you trying to tell me we can't talk? We can't have no conversation. Know why? Because y'all been gossiping. Because y'all so friends, y'all go to gossiping. It becomes a regular conversation, and then it becomes gossiping. But God says, I don't want you to gossip no more. But he ain't say, I don't want you to gossip no more. I just don't want you to talk to this person no more. Because when you get into this person's sphere, you get connected to this person. Now y'all go have conversations, and before you know it, you putting your mouth on somebody, and then you wondering why people are talking about you, because in the secret you talking about somebody else. Y'all better catch that nugget right there. Is your mouth, if your mouth is causing you to be disobedient. Come on now, come on. Are the people around you that you're connected with are making you be disobedient? I remember when God told me, I'm gonna change. You're gonna have to get away from people, places, and things. I ain't know what the heck that was. I ain't know what that meant. People, places, and things. I figured it out later. I figured out when he said move, that means I'm gonna move you away from everything. People, places, and things. Move me to a place where all I had was two people in my family, a set of my cousin and my auntie, in a town that I didn't even know. That's it. That's it. And now my cousin don't even live here no. So now it's just me, my family, my auntie, and her family in this town. That's it. That's it. When I say he moved me away from people, places, and things, he moved me away from it. Moved me away from where I used to go and get dope. Move me away from all of it. I mean, like all of the things that trigger, all of the things that did, because you know what though? Because now I'm in this place and the place of obedience, because in that place I was coming out of disobedience, but I wasn't always obedient. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to live in a gray area. I was trying to, I was coming out, but I was still had a foot in. And so God's like, I need your foot to be out. So I'm going to go ahead and move you away from all of this. I'm going to take you away from all of this. And now it's just going to be you, Yvette. It's going to be me, you, and Yvette. That's it. And I'm like, okay, God, I got you. Got here. That's what it is. Me, God, and Yvette. That's it. That's it. And then start building. He started doing, because I started following some instructions. I started getting up and doing things. I started getting my mind right. I started declaring some things. I started praying differently. I started thinking differently. I started meditating on these words, meditating on who he's called for me to be. And I had to start saying these things, because as a man thinketh, so is he. So I had to get these things in my heart. I had to become an obedient servant. I had to become submitted. I had to become humble. I had to come out of some things, man. I'm telling you, I had to come out of some things, but you know what? I had to be strong enough to do it, because I'm telling you, temptation will pull you back. Temptation will have you to call a friend because you hurt, because you're lonely, because you're disappointed, and God said, I don't need you to be calling them. I need you to be calling on me. Why you call on them more than you call on me? How are they helping you? You think that they can help you better than I can help you? I'm talking about. I'm like, dang, God, I get it, bro. I get it. That's why I had to meditate on his word. That's why I had to find scriptures that strengthened me. That's why I had to find scriptures that put my mind in another place, that got not only get into my heart, but getting into my spirit, that's getting into my soul, because it was time where I had to get my soul delivered. My soul was so jacked up that it made it easy for me to be disobedient. It made it easy for me to be rebellious. It made my heart became hard. My mind became hard. So it made it easy for me to look to the right, look to the left, go to the right, go to the left, go anywhere I wanted to go, do anything I wanted to do. Is that you? Is that you? You feel like you can just do whatever you want to do, but there's no repercussions for doing what you want to do. You better ask Moses. You better ask Moses. You better ask a whole lot of people in the Bible that didn't follow the instructions, and the earth opened up and swallowed them up. A whole lot of people. A whole lot of people. Are you finding yourself in a cycle that you just can't get out of? But God says, because you have been disobedient and you choose not to be obedient to all of my instructions, you find yourself in this cycle. You find yourself in this hurtful place. You find yourself in this place. You find yourself in this place. God ain't called for you to be in this place. He truly called for you to actually be in something differently. But you choose not to actually do all of the instructions. He says, meditate on my word day and night. Are we meditating on this word day and night? Come on, Lord. Let's just be real. Can we all be transparent here? Can we all be transparent? Because there's sometimes I'll be like, man, shoot, man, I just want to feel like this. Because you feel like you should feel like this. But the devil is a liar. I can come out of that quicker now. Because that used to be a bad place. I can come out of that quicker. Because I've put so many scriptures in my mind to battle that the Holy Spirit won't even allow me to just sit into that. You better pull up that scripture. And then I get this guy, I say, oh my God, God forgive me, and I'm repenting. I'm saying I'm sorry. I'm doing all of this thing because God starts convicting me. He says, I chastise the ones that I love. Then he corrected me. And so I'm glad that God loves me enough to correct me. But I'm so happy that I'm able to receive the correction, because sometimes you'll find yourself being disobedient because you getting corrected. You feel like you got a right to feel the way you feel, but God says you don't have a right to feel the way you feel. I need you to understand this differently. I need you to understand and receive this differently. I need you to know that you got to follow all of my instructions. All of my instructions. So if I tell you to forgive 70 times 7, that's what I need you to do. If I tell you to apologize, then that's what I need you to do. If I tell you to close your mouth, that means that's what I want you to do. If I tell you to go and walk and not complain about walking, that's what I need you to do. If I tell you to show more grace, that's what I need you to do. It's just, it's instructions, yo. It's instructions. I'm sure that you don't go and drive your car and run right through a red light every time because you got somewhere to go. You don't run that red light. Why? Because there's a consequence. Some stuff might happen. Yes, you can get in an accident, but you can also die. Why? Because you didn't follow the instructions. The instruction says you don't run red lights. You stop at a stop sign. And when you don't do it, there's something that happens. I'm just saying. And then sometimes you run a red light and all of a sudden, nothing really happened because, it was at yellow and then all of a sudden it just turned red. Yellow says you need to slow down. It don't say you need to speed up. We're talking about following instructions. Those are driving instructions. Those are like simple instructions. Like simple. These are things that we have to learn and do every day. But when God gives us some instructions, we like, oh, it's too hard to do that. Oh my God, that's just too hard. That's why he said be strong. Duh. He tell us what we do. He tell us what we need. I'm saying, Dudley, hey y'all, listen. I don't see. Here we go, because somebody might have got offended. I tell y'all all the time, when I'm doing these lives, I can't see y'all. I see myself. So I'm looking at myself and I'm talking to myself. You just happen to be a part of it, but I'm talking to myself. So these things encourages me also, because he whips me with it earlier. Then he tells me to get on live so I can see myself. So I'm coming into agreement with myself. I'm getting deliverance from myself because I'm seeing myself. Because y'all don't know my history. Y'all, if you know my history, I would never look at myself in a mirror. Now when I do lives, I constantly look at myself. I got to look at myself in the eyes. I got to see. I can see myself. I can understand myself. And so I'm talking to myself. So not only am I talking to myself, I'm talking to my spirit man. Not only am I talking to my spirit man, I'm talking to my soul. So I'm getting this same. I'm getting this same revelation. I'm getting the same deliverance. I'm getting the same understanding. I'm getting the same encouragement, push. I'm getting the same thing. So no, you're not in this by yourself. So if you getting offended or you feeling offended, you might want to get delivered from it, because I'm talking to myself also. Okay? I'm talking to myself also. I got to encourage myself too. And so this is right here is transparency to me. This right here keeps me delivered. This right here keeps me and keeps my salvation intact, because this is what these are the instructions that God gives me for me. And this is what he asked me to do. Get on here, and I need you to get on here and he gives me a scripture. He gives me a name. He gives me a story. He gives me these little things. And then he said, get on here and go. It ain't no preparation. It ain't no powder up. I just came from running. I just ran for an hour and a half. And so I've been running and I'm sweating. I'm sitting in my car and I'm like, God, can I go take a shower and get back in the car? No, I need you to do this right now. It's simple instructions. Hey, I wasn't going to get out of this car and then go in the house and take a shower and then come back. And then I might have missed something. I might have missed something. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just following God's instructions. Sometimes these instructions seem so weird. Sometimes they don't add up to your brain. Sometimes it just seems like it's crazy. But let me tell you something. God ways is higher than your ways. God thinking is higher than your thinking. You can't even think like God. Your timing is not God's timing. So I'm just telling you, you might, if whatever God tell, I'm getting chill bump. My hair is standing up. All black hairs and white hairs, they standing up. Cause let me tell you something. Gerald, I say my name because I don't want y'all to say, why you talking about me like that? I know somebody's saying it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'll go ahead and apologize to you now if I hurt your feelings, if you felt like I was talking about you and why I'm talking to you like that and all of that stuff. Y'all see, I ain't just saying this to be saying this because I understand, because if somebody was talking, it'd be seen out of, if I was an offended person, I'll be feeling like that. And so I get it. And so I'm just apologizing to you now if you feeling offended, if you feeling like I'm stepping on your toes, if you feeling like, you know, I'm a hammer hitting you across your head, I apologize. But I'm going to tell you like this right here. I pray that you understand that you better get these instructions that God is giving you. I pray that you actually follow the instructions that God is giving you. I pray, because let me tell you something. The repercussion of what God is going to do, you miss your promised land. Check this out. You miss your promised land. You don't know what generation got to come back and fix that. You don't even know. It might not even be just your kids. It might be your great-great-great-grandkids that got to fix something that you did. Because we're talking about Joshua getting the promised land that he promised, that God has promised his ancestors. It wasn't something that he promised them. It was something that he has promised his ancestors. And now, because he's going to be obedient, he gets to reap the benefits of his ancestors. His ancestors didn't even get to see this land. They didn't even get to touch this land. All they know was that God promised it to them. And now you got Joshua actually getting ready to walk in the same land that God. What instructions that God is giving you that's going to unlock the favor on your family, the wealth on your family, the blessings on your family, the healing on your family? You got people that's in your family that have been having high blood pressure for decades, and God has said, I need you to do this. I need you to do this, because you don't even understand that this might unlock the high blood pressure. It might unlock the cure to cleansing poverty and lack, not enough, all of that. Financial destruction, financial ruin. You know what I'm saying? Divorce in your family. Everybody in your family done got a divorce. I mean, from the great grandfather all the way down to cousins and nieces and nephews and all of them. Everybody getting divorced. It's just like run rapidly. You can't stay married. You don't see that? That's demonic. But God is giving you some instructions to break it. God is giving you some instructions to pray for it. God is giving you some instructions to declare over it. And you're not doing it. Come on, y'all. Listen, I'm trying to break. I declare that I'm a generational curse breaker. So I declare that when I pray, I'm breaking curses. I'm pulling down strongholds. I'm knocking out principalities. I'm kicking wickedness in high places. I'm kicking them all around. I'm stomping on them. That's my mentality. When he says be strong and be courageous, I'm talking about being courageous. I'm going against those things. I'm not just sitting here like, oh my God, that's not for now. Oh, you don't really want to mess with me. Listen, man, when you don't want to talk about that stuff, and when you don't want to deal with that type of stuff, then you just sit there and allow a breach to come in, and all of a sudden everything comes tumbling down, and now we want to blame God. Can't blame God. God gives us instructions. God gives us he gives us instructions all throughout this Bible. all throughout this Bible. Everything you choose. He gave you a choice that you're going to choose to do the good thing, good or bad. You're going to choose to speak life or death. You're going to choose. You got a choice to do any of these things that God has called for you to do. But he says, I need you to be strong and be courageous. Being weak and being and not being courageous, it puts you in a disobedient place, because it opens you up to your flesh. It opens you up to your own your own mentality, your own character, your own personality. It ain't that, oh, I'm walking in the image and likeness of God. Okay, then that's the case. That means you need to be strong, you need to be courageous. And later on down the thing, it says for you to be able to do all of these things, that means you got to be strong and you got to be very courageous, because in the midst of a storm, in the midst of your family, in the midst of your situation, you got to be courageous enough to stand on what God has said. You got to be courageous enough to speak what God has said for you to speak. You got to be courageous. It doesn't matter what the faces look like. It doesn't matter what your family says. It doesn't matter what your cousin says. It doesn't matter what your friend says, your best friend, your no friend, your half friend, whatever friend. It doesn't even matter what your group says. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. That stuff don't even matter. What matters is what God said. Period. When you ask me, I'm gonna say, what did God say? Don't ask me my opinion. You better ask you say, what should I do? What did God say do? I don't know. What was the last thing that God said to you? Because I'm gonna go back to that. What was the last instruction God said to you? You go back to that one and you do it. And then all of a sudden, you see it unlock something. And then you unlock something. And then you unlock something. So I pray that this message right now has blessed you. Some of y'all, it might have hurt. But that's okay. That's okay. We grow today. My apostle used to say this. You got to grow up in a day. I used to trip off of that. Grow up in a day. But I understand that now. But if I meditate on this word day and night, when I wake up, I grow up. Ooh, I like that one. Babe, I think I got me a shirt. Ooh, I grow up. I'm telling you. When I grow up, I can't even remember what I just said. Y'all see that? See how the enemy just took away my shirt? So if y'all heard what I said, put that up. Because the enemy literally just whoop, grabbed that. See, he comes to steal a word. He comes to steal it. He knew that was a good shirt. And so he tried to take it real quick. But that's okay. Somebody caught it, and I can go back to replay and I can get it. Duh, you didn't take it away. You don't understand. I recorded this so I can go back and get it. So please, y'all remember this. If you don't remember anything, understand this, that you have to obey the instructions of God, because obey all of the instructions that my servant Moses has given you. Don't turn to the right, don't turn to the left. Oh, Jesus, oh my God. So that you may succeed in everywhere you go. Everywhere you go. If you follow the instructions, you succeed. You succeed. If you follow the instruction, you succeed in your marriage. If you follow the instruction, you succeed on your job. You succeed in your health. You succeed in life. Whatever it may be, follow God's instructions. Follow God's instructions. All right? Guys, thank y'all for joining me. I pray that it wasn't that long. Thank you for joining me. I'm Gerald with Gerald and Yvette Ministries. You can go to our website, GeraldandYvette.com. Please go to our YouTube channel, Gerald and Yvette Ministries. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I'm telling you, it's jumping off. It's going on. We putting in content. We having fun. I wonder if anybody got my Spanish. I'm gonna start doing some stuff in Spanish. I'm learning Spanish, right? I should have learned Spanish in high school, but I'm gonna be transparent. I wasn't a good student, and I definitely wasn't trying to learn no Spanish. I was jacking up my English, so learning another language was just crazy too. But I just have fun with it, and me and my wife has been having fun with it. She's teaching me some stuff. Last night she taught me some numbers in Spanish, and don't ask me what none of those numbers are right now. I'm a uno, dos, tres, cuatros. That's about it right about now. And so I'm learning, y'all. So it is what it is. And I'm going to have fun learning because I want to be able to pray in different language. I want to be, because God has called for me to go into every man and child's world. How can I go into every man and child's world if I can't communicate with them? Y'all better catch that. God, you just hit me across my head. God, I better take this stuff a little bit more seriously. I got it, God. You just see, I'm trying to tell y'all, I just got to hit right across my head, because if he been telling me for a very long time, I've called for you to go into every man, woman, and child's world. And how can you go into every man, woman, and child's world if you can't even communicate with them? Everybody ain't speaking English. Everybody ain't gonna speak English. Everybody's not gonna speak English. No, I'm not have to learn every language. But he put Spanish on my heart like it's like, bro, you should have learned this in high school. You should have got this in high school. Everybody in my house, they speak in Spanish like fluently. My son he speak like he grew up in speaking Spanish. I mean, it's so clear and so I used to get jealous at that. My daughter does it. My wife I'm like, man, I'm the only one over here I'm stuck on uno, dos, tres. And I can't even get past that. But the devil is a lie. I'm going to succeed in that. I'm going to study this. I got my Duolingo, and I'm going to work hard at it. I'm just being transparent, because these was instructions that God told me, but I didn't understand that the stuff that I'm doing now, it's related to that. It's related to the language. It's relating to going into every man and woman and child's world to be able to communicate them. How am I going to be able to communicate the love of Christ? How am I going to be able to communicate the word of God to them if I don't even understand their language, to be able to deliver a word to them? Yes, you can get a translator and to deliver the word, but what about what he asks me to do? You know what I'm saying? He asks me to do this. He asks me to do this. So yes, I got to be more diligent. I got to be more faithful and obedient. See, this is an area of being disobedient, because I got an app that I haven't been using that should be able to help me to get where I need to go. See, I'm just being transparent, y'all. This ain't y'all. This ain't all about y'all. I'm just being transparent. It's things that I got to get right too. And learning Spanish is that one. So I'm on that. And I pray that y'all pray for me. Yeah, Sandra and Yvette, how you doing? Because you was helping me out in my Spanish also. I appreciate you while you was online the other day. I appreciate that. So y'all, I got to go, because I got some work to do, and God is calling for me to do some other work. But I just wanted to bless y'all, man. I pray that this encourage y'all, stretch y'all, pull y'all, put you in the right place. It's just another driveway motivational nugget that God has me to drop on you now. But remember, please be obedient to all of the instructions so that you can get to the next place, that your family can succeed, your generations behind you will succeed, that they would, when they come, they're reaping the benefits of their ancestors of being obedient. And so obedience just running your bloodline. It runs in your DNA. God says, I can trust this DNA. I can trust this bloodline, because this bloodline has been obedient for generations to come. Generations that pass, they have been obedient. And so I can trust this bloodline. So let that be your bloodline. All right. Y'all be blessed, and y'all have a wonderful day. And remember, God loves you.